We've got Michelle Alfaro, Clayton Chapman, and Larissa Codr, who have all been on Food Network shows previously, and they're going to take us into what the experience is like. Can we give them a warm welcome here tonight? Hey there, Omaha. Welcome into another edition of the Restaurant Hoppen podcast. I'm your host, Dan Hoppen, and one of my wife and I's favorite shared activities is watching food competition shows. I mean, you name it, we watch it. Top Chef, Chopped, Holiday Baking Championship, all the shows that you see on Food Network, and you're just like, who watches that? That's us. We are those people. But we watch those shows and we wonder how much of that is real. What is it like to really experience that? How much is editing playing a part in this? And those are questions that you can't really answer just by watching the shows, but you can answer it if you've been on the show. And that is where my three wonderful guests come in tonight. We've got Michelle Alfaro, Clayton Chapman, and Larissa Codr, who have all been on Food Network shows previously, and they're going to take us into what the experience is like. Can we give them a warm welcome here tonight? So first, before we get into Food Network stuff, I want to give you guys a chance to rep your own businesses. So just maybe give me a 1 minute, 45 second to 1 minute explanation of your business and what it is you're up to these days. Larissa, let's start with you.
I'm Larissa Codr. I am the owner, operator, and chief cookie artist, is what I call myself, for the Finicky Cookie. I'm a one-woman show, cottage baker, and I pretty much just decorate cookies. I don't do a lot of actual baking, but...
The humility. My goodness, she is so talented. It's crazy.
Yeah, to say she just decorates cookies is like saying Michelangelo just scribbled a little bit.
Literally.
Thank you.
My name's Clayton Chapman. I have a company called Noble Hospitality. We do restaurant consulting, turnkey solutions for new builds and refacing for existing businesses. We also do like in-home private dining, private events, and I just launched an app called Cooking with Clayton. It's a weekly and monthly release of videos, recipes, shopping lists, and all of the things.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm Michelle Alfaro. I own Sauce by Alfaro in downtown Papillion. We specialize in crispy chicken sandwiches and hand bread them every day fresh and make all our sauces in-house and all that. And we just try to bring a new flavor profile to the area.
So getting into the Food Network of it all, Michelle competed on a show called Supermarket Stakeout, and it aired this year in 2025, but you competed in 2024.
Yes.
Clayton competed on Beat Bobby Flay in 2017. Really had to go back into the archives to find that episode, but I found it. Yes. Food Network could not keep it from me. I found it. And Larissa competed on Christmas Cookie Challenge in 2022.
That's awesome.
Again, I would love each of you to just give me like a 1 minute. If somebody hasn't heard of these shows, give me a 1 minute summary of kind of how the show works and what you did on it. We'll start with you, Michelle.
Start with me. So Supermarket Stakeout is hosted by Alex Cornishelli, and you're basically in a supermarket parking lot that they set you up in to get ingredients from real shoppers that are coming out of the store that you have to put all your awkwardness aside and approach them and ask them if you can buy their groceries. And if they do, then you take back without knowing sometimes what you're getting, and you have to prepare out of the basket that you get and present it to the judges and go on from there. 3 rounds. Yep.
That's wild. That sounds so challenging.
It is a crazy show, but it's fun to watch, and it's been successful. It's going on 6 or 7 seasons now.
7, I think.
Yeah.
And you won your episode?
I did not.
No, you did not.
I was a big loser. But that's okay.
No,
I'm just kidding.
She advanced to the second round, and we'll discuss why you may not have won. Food Network.
I'm being facetious, honestly.
We'll be talking about that.
If it makes you feel better, I didn't win it either.
It's because nobody beats Bobby Flay.
Yeah, he's actually like incredibly
so good.
talented.
He is.
He is like the real McCoy, in my opinion.
So how does Beat Bobby Flay work?
Beat Bobby Flay is 2 rounds. You first go against like a fellow competitor, another chef. I went up against a chef by the name of Tony Parolo out of Chicago, and you do basically like a quick fire head to head. They give you a mystery ingredient, and you have 20 minutes, and it's really 20 minutes.
So crazy.
It's real time, and you have to put up a dish and present it, and the judges then pick the winner of that first round, and then you go on to beat or not beat Bobby Flay.
And Larissa, what is a Christmas cookie challenge like?
Christmas Cookie Challenge is 2 rounds. You start with 4 cookie artists, and we're given a theme. We have to present that theme. They cut 2 off the first round, and then, cut 1 out of the first round, and then 3 of us moved on to the second round to finish it out. Hosted by Reed Drummond and Eddie Jackson.
Nice.
So I just want to start from a real high level. When you guys think about that experience, what pops to the front of your mind? What is your lasting memory of being on a food competition show?
Anybody want to start?
Don't look at me.
I'll say it was exhausting.
How so?
That's like what I take away. Like I felt like my brain needed to kind of decompress for a whole week. It was a lot because physically you're working, but you're thinking so much, and there's just so much going on that your brain is just like full overload, and then decompression from that takes some time.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to describe it. There's a ton of prep that goes into it, right, to get you ready to go on to it. The work itself is a lot of work in and of itself, but then, you have the cameras and the audience and the pressure and all of the things.
When you talk about your 20-minute round, right? But leading up to that, there's so much going on before that, and then interviewing after, and all of the talking that you're having to do during, like that, just to me was exhausting.
I loved it. I
loved it.
I would do it again for sure.
Yeah.
And I think what I think about when I think about it is I got to meet one of the chefs that I personally admire on Food Network, and she complimented my stuff, and that was something I'll take with me forever. I think that was one of the best parts of it for me. So even though I didn't get the full win, it was still such an amazing experience. Absolutely. And I loved it so much. Really cool to do and to have people that you actually look up to be like, wow, that's stupid good, and compliment your food, and it's like, whoa, that'll just resonate in there forever for me. I feel.
Yeah, I was going to say, calling that a compliment is selling it way short. Antonio LaFaso, Top Chef champion, Food Network star, looked Michelle Alfaro in the eyes and said, "This burger is stupid good."
Yes. Oh, it's the best moment ever. So cool. Yeah.
Okay, so
Insane.
Larissa, a big part of the reason why I wanted to have you guys on is because of what you just mentioned. You were talking about it was so mentally exhausting because of everything we had to do beforehand, and then we had to do all the interviews afterhand. So let's start beforehand. What did you have to do coming into the show that was more exhausting than you realized it was going to be?
So the very beginning is going to be the process of just getting on the show. So you're presenting multiple, you're doing interviews. Most of those were done. So I was coming into it, we actually filmed early 2022, and it was they were still coming out of COVID. So there was still some different things going on. So everything was done remotely, which was cool. But you're doing a lot of prep work just to get on the show, and then when you get casted, you get there, and it's kind of a weird, creepy experience because they're like, you're going to fly into this airport and just wait. We'll contact you. And you're like, okay, am I going to get kidnapped? Or what's going to happen here? And then you get off the plane, and then there's some person waiting in a van. So there's all these weird things that are leading up to it. And then you get to the hotel, and you can't talk to anyone. You have to be secret, and but we all kind of knew you're like, okay, there's these four other weird people that are creeping around and that don't know what they're doing. So you kind of find your people, and then you figure out the next day you're going to go to the studios, and then they fit you with your aprons or whatever your outfit's going to be. And then you've got, pre-interviews. So there's a pre-interview process, which is usually a few hours for each person. And you're waiting in a room for, everyone's taking their turns. And then you get into the actual show. They show you the studio for about 10 seconds. They show you where things are. There's the pantry. You have 5 seconds to look at it and go find all that stuff later.
Sure.
And then it's a very long days. I was there for 5 days.
Wow.
We had a dark day. We were there on a Sunday. They don't film on Sundays, so we were there. It was a long haul.
Were you in New York?
I was in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where did you film yours?
Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where were you?
New York.
New York.
New York.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Mine was
studio's
3
all over.
days. I think 3 days.
3 days of filming?
Filming and interviewing and arriving. Yeah. I don't remember if I saw him the first day. So 2 days with filming and yeah.
Wow.
It was a while ago. I can't remember.
Yes. Like a blur.
It's a blur. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing that people don't realize about these shows. I mean, we see it and it's edited down to 40 minutes, or
Right.
in the case of Beat Bobby Flay, like 20, 22 minutes, and it seems like the whole thing just flies. But for every one of those little cutaways where someone just has a 3-second answer to an interview question or whatever, that could be hours worth of interviewing, and they just picked out that one little segment. It takes a lot more time than I think a lot of people realize.
Mm-hmm.
How did your opinion of food competition TV change based off your experience?
That's a good one. I feel like mine changed a little bit in the sense of it was more real on my episode than what I was expecting. Like, you're really talking to people that have no idea why you're asking them for their ingredients. That's all real, And when I was watching before being on the show, I was like, do they know they're going to be asked for their groceries and like all that stuff? But they didn't know and all of that. So there was a lot more reality behind it than I really thought was 100% there in the editing and stuff. So that was kind of a cool experience, I think, to see it was holding true to what I'd known for the most part on that. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Bobby Flay gets a lot of guff because he loves to cook with poblano peppers and cilantro and like do all of these things.
Make crispy rice?
Yeah, but man, he is a rock star. Like, so we filmed the morning that we filmed that episode. It started at like 10 a.m. and I kid you not, this was like the guy's 3rd or 4th episode he filmed that morning before we started mine. So I guess he was like a boxer. He was like all warmed up, ready
He's
to go.
like a machine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He did like 4 of those in a row?
Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
Back to back. Yeah. So in my opinion, I think he deserves credit where credit's due for sure. So I did not know that going into it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. That's crazy. How cool.
What about you, Larissa?
What question were we on?
How did your opinion of food competition TV change based off your experience?
Oh gosh. So for me, I feel like there were some little tricks that were played on us that were to throw us off a little bit. And so I always kind of suspected that, that can't be real. And there are some little tricks that were played that made it a little harder, but also kind of just to give it a little flair. So I guess that was just a little bit revealing for me.
You know I'd be a horrible interviewer if I didn't follow up on that.
I'm trying to
What
be.
tricks were those?
You gotta at least give me one trick.
So in the first round, okay. So in the second round, I had a plan, and so in the first round, I made a comment on the pantry. You have this pantry on one wall with all of your food colorings and glitters and all your edible fun sprinkles and all the stuff that you would put on decorated cookies. And one of the things that was on the bottom shelf, there was a basket of colored fondant. And fondant is the stuff that you roll out and you can make little doodads and little figurines, or you can roll it out. And I had a plan, and I was going to use red fondant. And I said, oh my gosh, there's red fondant here. I'm going to need that. And I said it out loud because they want you to talk the whole time. They're wanting you to talk so that they can have content. Mm-hmm. And the second round, guess what was not there? They had removed it.
Oh no!
And they also took out. We had to pick a liqueur, and I know. So I picked the cinnamon schnapps, and I know for a fact that there was cinnamon extract, cinnamon emulsion, all sorts of cinnamon flavored things in the pantry that were also gone in the second round. So I think they took those specifically so that so that you have to like
Food Network.
Yeah.
Did you guys experience any little tricks or anything?
No elves.
No.
I did not have any
No
elves
elves in my episode.
No, I didn't experience that. But when we were getting ready to plate, Alex was like, all right, you have 2 minutes left or whatever. And then she's like, just kidding, chefs. When I said that, I meant to say 1 minute. So it cut it in half for the plating. And I was like, well, that stinks. So then you're like scrambling because it doesn't sound like a big difference, but the difference in plating between 2 and 1 minute is like
Do you think
crazy.
though that you actually did have 2 minutes and they just told you that it was 1 minute to make you a little more frantic?
No.
No.
Alex just messed up.
She just made a mistake. It's just like this is real life right now.
And of course they don't show that on TV. They just show all the chefs and like the judges are screaming at them, chefs, plate, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm trying. You just shaved a minute off my life. Come on.
Yeah.
And you only had 20 minutes.
I had 20, and if they told you you had 2, you probably really needed 5.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yes, probably.
So with all of your competitions, you are presented with a challenge. So for Supermarket Stakeout, it's at the beginning of each round. There's a theme, like we're going to the islands, or make something on a stick, something along those lines. In Beat Bobby Flay, like you mentioned, there's a secret ingredient that he pulls out behind his back, and you have to use it as the star of your dish. And then there are, similar to Supermarket Stakeouts, there are themes in the Christmas Cookie Challenge. Did you guys know the secret ingredient or the themes before they were announced to you, like on camera, or did you know beforehand? Were you able to conceptualize what you wanted to do prior to the show starting, or did you really just have to come up with it on the spot?
We knew the themes ahead of time.
Okay.
All of the contestants knew the theme.
But you didn't know your ingredients, so that's not super helpful.
No. And you know what? I ignored it. Strategically for me, I didn't want to pigeonhole myself and come up with an idea or a recipe and require my mind to be focused on that. I just said, nope, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to see what's in front of me, and I'm going to create from there and go with it. And that's what I did, because otherwise I think I would have been fixating on what I didn't have instead of what I did. And I don't know if I could pivot enough from that.
That's wild.
And you see that on the show sometimes. Like, they'll announce the challenge, and one of the chefs immediately will be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to make a pulled pork sandwich. And they're, like, so fixated on it. They're just waiting and waiting for someone to come out with some pork, and it never happens. And then they lose half their time. So very smart. Also, you're extremely creative, and you can cook with a pair of old socks and some ketchup. So you have the skill set to pull that off.
You're going to have an old sock chicken sandwich next week,
Perfect.
right?
If Michelle makes it, I'll eat it.
I love that. Thank you so much.
What about the secret ingredient on Bobby Flay? Did you know?
I did. Well, it was battle. It was a Thanksgiving battle. It aired on Thanksgiving, I should say. And so had I made it to the final round with Bobby, it would have been a battle turducken. And in the first round, I knew it was going to be something Thanksgiving. I thought it might be like cranberries or marshmallows or sweet something.
And it was turkey cutlets.
Yeah, they gave me a turkey cutlet, and then they whispered right before we started, and you can't use any ingredients that you were planning on using in the next round. And I was like, Oh. Okay, let's reinvent the wheel. So it was interesting for sure. Or challenging, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Did you know the challenges going in?
Oh,
were you able to prep
I did
ahead
know
of
the
time?
theme.
Okay.
Yes, I knew what the themes were going to be.
That's helpful.
Yes.
How much did you guys prepare going in? Like, do you try and just keep your mind as clear as you can, or are you practicing as much as you can? Are you putting 20 minutes on the clock and saying, all right, just give me an ingredient and let's see what I can do? Or do you just go in and say, let's see what happens here?
I did a lot of praying, for sure.
No better prep than that.
Man. And then I think I just trusted the process. And I went one time, my friend had me over, and she was like, she went and bought these ingredients from the grocery store, and she was like, all right, make something with this. And it was supposed to be like 20 minutes or something like that for my time, but then we started talking and drinking wine, so that didn't really work. But it was fine, and it was fun, and we all still ate and did all the things, but that was the amount of prep. I was really, really just wanting to go and experience it and trust what I feel my godly gift is, which is being creative and building flavor profiles from just a different perspective, and I trusted that.
I didn't really know what to prepare for, because it's like you really don't know what to expect. So, praying obviously
It always
is a big
helps.
thing that definitely helps. But you just don't know what to expect, and there's so little information that you're given going into it that again, it's just kind of you just got to go with the flow.
For sure. No, I did not prep mine ahead of time as much as I wish that I would have, because I talked to the chef that I went up against, and he told me that he practiced his recipe over 50 times
Perfect.
before he went on. And I was like,
And you beat him.
that's why you beat Bobby. Good for you. I think I stayed up and pulled an all-nighter the night before my flight to make sure that I did it once all the way through. And that was about it.
And I attest. I know you were beaten in the first round, so you didn't get a chance to take on Bobby. I just went back and rewatched the episode a couple days ago. So you took that turkey, you made a turkey meatball, you made a pickle, you made a turkey cutlet, and you made a type of gravy, a sauce, all in 20 minutes. Just wild. Walk me through that. Like when Bobby pulls that turkey out from behind his back, A, how long do you have before you actually start cooking? And B, how does your brain just start firing and decide this is the dish that I'm going to make? And I'm sorry, I know I'm taking – these two were on a little bit more recently. I'm taking you back 7 or 8 years.
Absolutely. Honestly, I don't know. I ended up doing it was like a meatball or like a croquette. It was like turkey pulverized with mustard and ricotta and then breaded and fried. And I think I was trying to do something very fast that would not dry out the turkey. And I think that was the goal. I don't know where my brain went or why it went there, but it did.
Did you just like black out?
Probably. I mean, it's like this room with a lot brighter lights and a lot more people. And I think we probably literally had 30 seconds to a minute before they started the clock. So, I don't know. Blocked out for sure.
How did you guys manage? I'm not going to ask the obvious question and say, were you nervous? If you're not nervous going into that situation, then you don't have a pulse and you're dead. How did you manage the nerves coming into that show, knowing we're going to be cooking in front of an audience, we're going to be cooking in front of celebrity chefs, thousands, if not tens of thousands of people are going to see this? How do you manage the nerves coming into your competition?
I feel like nervousness is the same as excitement, and I was really excited to do it. And again, not really knowing what to expect. I didn't have an audience, but there are so many people there anyway, production crews. I mean, we had like 7 cameras on us, and each one had a person on them. So each of us had, it's still a lot of people. You had a live audience, and
we had a live audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she's got a parking lot full of people. That just
thinking
pull
that
up.
you guys won your shows, but
Larissa did win her show, by the way. We should mention that. Yeah. She came out on top.
Thank you. But so you didn't get to actually try to beat Bobby Flay?
Nope.
Dang it.
Sure did.
You should go back.
He should have.
I would do it again.
Yeah, you should.
But I will say, so when you lose the first round, it's like they throw out the baby with the bathwater, and you're like supposed to go do all of these interviews, and they don't want you to actually like see the second round of the other chef, and I think they're probably worried you're gonna like make a scene or something. But
throw a rotten shrimp.
Something. But I asked.
You can see Clayton in the background of the shots in the second round, just giving the camera the double bird.
Yeah. But I asked really candidly. I said, "Can I just sit in the audience and watch the next round?" They actually let me do
Did
it.
they let you?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
which
awesome.
was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lost in the second round, and I was escorted off the prop. No, I'm just kidding. I did lose it, but the executive producers came up to me and they were like, "We could listen to you talk about food all day.
Yeah.
You'd be a great candidate for redemption round." And they actually emailed me, months ago now, saying the same thing. So who knows what the future holds? Maybe we'll get a chance to go back. And I think having been there and experienced it just makes you stronger.
For sure.
And makes you want to fight even harder for it. So I definitely would think that'd be pretty neat to go back.
And it makes their
try to
job
redeem.
easier because you kind of know the process. And so they're not having to guide you or prep you as much.
Yeah.
I think you bring up a really interesting point there, Michelle, in that going back and doing it a second time, you would be so much better prepared because you know that the flight is going to be super weird. You know what it's like to have so many production people following you around. You know all this stuff that you don't know going in. I guess, like, how do you adjust to that on the fly when you're doing that the first time and you're getting all this new information thrown at you at once, and then you're expected to just, okay, now go cook. How different was cooking and baking in that setting? Just wildly different from anything you'd done previously.
I hadn't really ever done a food competition like that before. I did things as a really young cook, but not in that capacity. So it was definitely very different.
I think learning like the equipment that they have is different than what I have. So
Sure.
learning how to use their mixer, on the fly. You get no time to practice that stuff.
Right.
How does this oven bake? Is it going to bake the same as mine? I know mine has a hot spot in one area, your equipment. So, yeah, that was challenging.
And like improvising because you don't know where anything is. So you can't find a lid for a pot, use another pot or something.
Where's the
like
red fondant?
Yeah. Where did it go?
Whatever you do, don't ask that out loud.
I know. Yeah, I learned my lesson.
Exactly.
A little too late.
Now we all know for if we're ever competing in that arena. What is it like to cook and bake with a clock? Are you constantly looking at it and thinking about it? Do you try and ignore it because it just adds extra pressure? What was it like for you guys?
I don't think I watched it. I think I was always aware of it and all of the things, but I don't think I watched it. I think I was too busy focusing on developing a plan. Because, like, in my episode, I have this cart, and they're like, I don't remember what the first one was. It was, like, tangy and, gosh.
Was it sweet and tangy? It was something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't remember now what it was. And so you have this cart, and you have to unload every single item from it, say what it is so that they can have all the editing and such. And then as you're doing that and you're giving them what they need for the show, you're in your mind like, okay, what do I have? So you have black tea, and you have ketchup, and you have sauerkraut, and you have beef, and you've got the most ginormous burger buns I've ever seen in my life. And all this in coleslaw and stuff. So it's like, okay, I'm going to do a burger. Clearly I need to do that. I had cheese. I had all the fixings for that. And so I took the kraut and the sauerkraut and the coleslaw, and I made this tangy coleslaw out of that. And he had pickles and all things, chopped those up in there, and then made a black tea barbecue sauce and all of that. And then I had to take a cookie cutter and cut out, it's really a ring mold, but cut the bun to make it a size that would fit the burger, because the ratio would have just been really crazy. And I don't remember even what else I put on that burger, but it was just like, you got the tang and the sweet and all the things that they were looking for with it. But I think it was focused on what I could do and what I could do well with the ingredients I had more than the clock.
And it was stupid good.
It was stupid good.
It was stupid good.
Yes, that needs to go on a shirt. Babe, we need to put that on a shirt. Yeah. That burger was stupid good. She said it. 2 O's, for sure. Yeah, so good.
What about you guys? How closely were you watching the clock?
I think I was watching it pretty regularly, if I remember right. Like, restaurant time is not real time in all aspects of the world. You know, it's like, so I was kind of used to having to do things pretty quickly. You know, it's like in a normal Friday or Saturday night service, you need to get a lot of food out in a short amount of time. And so we're always watching the clock. But it still goes really fast.
What do you mean that restaurant time isn't real time?
Like working in a restaurant and running a line, like running a kitchen on a Friday or Saturday night service, when you have a room full of people that are all ordering food and you have a rail full of tickets, chef, it's like you blink and it's gone, and somehow you fed 100 people. And
Yeah. What crazy. It gets really crazy in there, especially at sauce. If we have, our whole menu is pretty much fried. We have 2 fryers, and they have to be at 2 different degrees. So we have to do this like what we do at Sauce is probably unlike any like big restaurant, because it's just so small. It's like a food truck with no wheels, essentially. It's a really, really small space. And so it's like we're constantly dropping things rhythmically, but at different times, different things go in different places all the time. And it's like, everything's made fresh to order. So it is a different realm for sure. Like if you give us 20 minutes at Sauce, we're doing probably like 10 or 15 different things in that.
you're doing 45 minutes
Yeah.
worth of work
Right.
in 20 minutes.
Yes, why prep is so important.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
real.
I don't think I looked at the clock once.
But how? Because I was
You
curious
just
to ask
don't-
you this question, because baking is something so specific. Because you gotta get your dough mixed, you gotta get it in the oven, you gotta make sure it bakes, you gotta take it out and cool it, so your icing isn't melting when you're
Yeah.
trying to put it on there. You have to sometimes do multiple layers of icing.
Yep.
You had to make, in the second round, 3D cookies, so you had to figure out how to stand them up and like lock together. How can you do that without looking at the clock?
I mean, you just don't have time to look at the clock. you literally just, I mean, for me, I don't even remember if there was a clock, to be honest with you. I don't remember looking at a clock. I remember they would tell us, bakers, you have X minutes left, and they would, tell you a few times throughout the round. But I'm very process oriented, and so I try to be as efficient as possible. And I know the steps. I need to do this first, and I can do this in between while this is drying or cooling, and I'll be mixing my colors while these are in the oven. I'll be doing, so I think of those things first, and then I just execute the plan. Just make you make a plan and then you execute it. That's what you have to do. And so the time just flies, and it's gone when it's gone. And hopefully you got accomplished what you needed to accomplish.
She makes it sound so easy. I watch her videos,
Right.
and she's got like these tiniest little paintbrushes, and she's just meticulously going through it, and it's so beautiful and so cool. And you're just like,
you're so
it's just so easy.
There's lots of editing.
Yours is just so cool.
I spend
what
many
you're
hours
able
at
to
night
do.
editing
Yeah.
videos, cookie videos. I had a friend who's actually here tonight. She made a comment. I did a video that I put out yesterday that I made a stained glass looking cookie, and I had all these little lines, and she's like, you make it look so easy, just every little line.
The
I
Christmas
said,
tree one?
yeah.
I saw it.
So in all reality, that was sped up 20 times. And if you watched it in real life, I would do a line and then I'd be like, okay, now this line needs to go here. And I'd maybe do 1 or 2, and then I'd stop and pause. So, I mean, time can
Yeah.
be deceiving.
like the current topic. You're telling us that there's editing in videos?
Yes,
And what you see isn't necessarily exactly what you
5
get?
days of being somewhere for a 40-minute show.
Wow.
Speaking of which, I want to talk about holdover time and how that affects. Because when we watch one of these Food Network shows, it's counting down the clock. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, chef's hands up. And everybody puts their hands up, and they all look around at their dish. And then 3 seconds later, it's in front of the judges, and they are tasting the food, and the chef is talking about their dish. As you guys all know, it is not 3 seconds later. There is a lot that happens in between dishes finished and judges are eating dish. So I would love each of you to kind of talk about how much time there was in between you finished your dish and when it was served. And Michelle, I know you have a story behind that. So I'm going to ask.
I have the same question, actually.
You have the same question?
Yeah, you do, yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to go first.
Dang it. Okay, no, I'm just
Do you not
kidding.
want to?
No, I do. It's fine.
It's the only reason you didn't win.
It is the reason I didn't win, in my opinion. But so you cook it, and they call time, and then they actually take you. We got to go to Subway. That's where our holding spot was. And probably 15-ish minutes, maybe a little bit longer, from the time that we plated it to the time we get to go back and have the judges do it. And I think that that's attributed to them getting their camera views and photos and things of that nature. Now, in my opinion, the judges should taste it as right then. Unfortunately for me, I had the second round was hot and brothy. This one I remember because I'm traumatized.
Oh, no.
Hot and brothy. So I had gotten like pork ribs. I threw them on the grill just to get a nice char, put the rib bones in this broth and all of that, and then cut that meat off to kind of put in. And I basically did like a Mexican-inspired ramen. And when it's plated, you can see all the broth in the bowl. Dan, back me up on that one. You saw it.
No. I can back you up on this, absolutely, because Food Network, like they take their glamour shots of the food, and they show this bowl, and it is just like full of broth and soup, and it looks amazing. And like the first comment the judges started making was, "There's not enough liquid here. There's no broth," and I'm like, "We just saw it 4 seconds ago. It was swimming."
It was. But if you guys have ever bought like those 25-cent ramens from the grocery store, right? You maybe leave them on the counter for a second and they absorb all that broth. That's the ramen noodle I was working with in my grocery bag. And so in the time that lapsed from final plating till the judges actually taste it, those noodles just continued, 1, to cook because the broth is hot, and 2, absorb all the broth because that's what pasta will do, right? And so when they got it, they were like, "Where's the broth?" And I was like, "Oh, it was there.
In the noodle.
It was there 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes ago." But that's fine.
Yeah, literally the only comments that they had against the dish were the noodles are overcooked, which, duh, and then there's not enough broth, which was absorbed into the noodles. So, like, I truly believe, and there was another contestant who had a similar problem with her broth. Like,
She did.
if the judges had eaten that food when it was hot and fresh, might have been a completely different experience and a completely different outcome.
Right. Yeah, and that part was a little hard to handle because I'm competitive. Like, I'm nice and friendly and stuff, but I'm competitive too. And so there was a little part of me that was like, I'm gonna still play it nice and all the things, but I wanted to kind of be like, no way, like that stinks, man. Come on. But on that particular one, I had made these. Basically, the guy's cart had tortillas in it, so I thinly cut them up, put them in the fryer, seasoned them with almost like a tahine type seasoning out of the pantry that they had just kind of created one, and that went on top of the broth. And that was another thing that Chef Antonia was like. She's like, "These are my new favorite snacks," and I'm such a fangirl. Oh my gosh, I can't help it. But she just loved it and all of that. And they didn't show that part either, but it was just like, there were elements that they really, really liked of it, and it was just the broth. But I know where the broth went. It went right into those noodles. It took me out. But that's okay. Bummer was right.
What about you, Clayton? Do you remember from your experience?
I think I had a similar story that, you plate everything and then it sits. I was able to like keep it warm on the oven door for probably, I want to say 30-ish minutes.
Oh, wow.
While they like get all of their glamour shots and, all the things. And you almost have to feel for them to a certain extent because then they're expected to be on camera as they're like tasting everything and it's cold. At this point, and they have to like describe it articulately and things. But I would say good half an hour went by before they ate it.
That's crazy.
I don't know this for a fact, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say, for you guys, this was probably the first time where someone is tasting your food and then actively judging you right in front of you. What was that like for you?
Well, the good comments were really nice. That was easy, a breeze.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
For sure.
The other ones, it just comes with humility. When they're telling you the level of class and the expertise that they have, you have to remember, like when I went, I've been cooking for 2 years, 3 years. Can't quite remember. I never
Cooking professionally. You've been cooking your entire life.
Yes. But I did not go to culinary school. I'm not professionally trained. I just have a real passion and I think a gift to do it and all of those things. So for me to stand in front of people of that caliber and have them say good and bad, it's all things that will help me improve and just hone in on my craft a little bit. So I really didn't, I minded still, but I didn't mind all the way, It's like, oh, you don't like the broth, Adrian? Okay. Kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you just have to kind of have some humility, about yourself to be able to do it and know the presence of the people that you're in front of and, you practice gratitude either way, good, bad, or otherwise.
Right. Sportsmanship.
You bet.
And I'll just add that for us, I'm very slow. I'm doing like little tiny, it's meticulous work.
I was just going to say you're meticulous.
Yeah, and I want it to be perfect. And obviously when you're expedited, it looks like a kindergartner did it. Like, the level of artistry on my cookies were not up to my normal standard. I'll just say that. And then they're still complimented. So again, you have to take those things. But there was, I'll say a little funny story. There was a girl on the show who did not win, and she was so upset. It kind of made it difficult for me to celebrate, honestly, because she was really just being kind of a downer. But she was so upset that she didn't win. She's sending pictures of her work and her cookies to Eddie Jackson's Instagram and we're just like, girl, he's not even going to see these. We know you're talented. You're here. You're here for a reason. But she took it really hard. So, again, being humble about it and just taking things as they come. And if you do get a compliment, it's wonderful. Mm-hmm.
What is the expected outcome of that action? Like, is she hoping he's not running his own social media account?
Right.
B, is he going to send her a message back and be like, you know what? Retroactively, you are the champion. You are better.
Changed her mind.
Yeah.
She's a little younger. I think maybe she just, I don't know. She had a hard time with it, and I felt bad for her. But, she had also really great compliments. I didn't think I had won, honestly. We all thought she won.
So. Well, she did too.
Larissa, when I've talked to you about this experience previously, something that you said really surprised you was how physically challenging it was. That this was a big arena and you weren't, the physical part of it is something that you weren't expecting.
Yes.
Michelle, you might have been expecting it because you knew you were going to be running around a parking lot pushing a grocery cart. But I would love for you guys to just comment on we've talked about the mental challenges, but what was it like physically to, obviously, cooking in a kitchen is a very physical job. It's physically demanding. But to do that on this show, what was that like?
Yeah. Well, I think I mentioned, and this is totally up your alley, our kitchen was 4 feet larger than a basketball court. So
Wild.
you've got 5 stations set up with, and everything's on, there's pantries on one wall, bowls are on another wall, utensils or other, gadgets so they're all in different places. There's 2 microwaves in each corner. So if you need to use or anything that is not at your station, or if you forget something, you're literally running. And again, you've got camera people on you. I turned around and ran into a camera guy at one point. I almost knocked him over.
How long do you guys have to do yours?
The first round was 40 or 45 minutes.
Okay.
And then the second round was 90 minutes. So, yeah, it was just so that part was very physical. But then also just I think what was mostly exhausting to me was the mental part of it, just the interviewing. And the exit interview was very, very long. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the interviews were at least for me, my cooking part of it was 20 minutes. But it was
How big is your kitchen, though? Did you have
maybe
closer?
I want to say half the size of this room. Everything was relatively close, but obviously you don't know where anything's at when you walk into it. And we literally, I think, had probably a minute before we started. So you take a quick scan around the room, and it was similar. If I needed to get something, you're running for it, for sure. But I remember the interviews, the post interviews were hours, hours and hours and hours.
Yes.
And I was like, do I need to say that again? Do I need to say that again?
Say it this way.
Yeah, say
it that way.
Exactly. I think that was, so it wasn't physically demanding, at least mine wasn't, but more mentally than anything. Yeah.
I think for me, you had to lightly jog, maybe, I really didn't want to run, so I was not worried about being first there. I was worried about not being completely out of breath and also just making sure I didn't fall or biff it, because if someone's going to do something completely awkward, it's me all the time.
And that's going to go on.
Yes, so I was like, just don't biff it, girl. Get there at your pace. It's fine. And it was. And I think I was still the first one to get the groceries. I was most nervous about talking to the strangers, trying to get them. That was the easiest part. So I loved that part. It was totally fine. But yeah, the interviews were long and all of the things too. And I always knew when I said something totally Michelle, when they'd be like, can you say that again? Or like, what would people say about you? And I'm like, well, they'd say I'm classy, sassy, and a little smart. I won't say it because there's children in here and things, but they were like, say that again. And they made me do it again. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to be on national TV saying things. Or when I was like, I named it sauce, I like to drink. Oh my God. Just the dumb things that are natural to come out of my mouth, but I'm presenting it for the whole world to see.
Did you feel though, at some point you're interviewing so long that you just start to say random things? I feel like that's part of the play. They
just exhaust you?
Yes, and it's kind of okay, I'm being interrogated. I'm just going to admit to the crime.
I didn't, but I liked my producer. She was so cool. And so I think it was just we just kind of talked like we were just talking.
Friends.
Yeah. So I think
awesome
that was pretty easy for me, but with her. But yeah, it was long for the 30 seconds that it shows me talking on there. I was like, wow, that's a lot of hours to get to that.
For sure.
And just imagine what that's like for the producers. If they've got 4 or 5 hours of each contestant, and you probably have, like you said, 20 to 30 seconds of what you said on camera actually makes it into the episode, and they got to cut all that down. It's a lot. What was it like for each of you to go back and watch your episode afterwards?
Painful.
Some cringy moments, for sure.
There was.
And remember, they get to pick what goes on. So.
For sure. So at least for me, okay, so it turns out the contract that you sign when you go on the show is non-negotiable. But
did you try to negotiate?
Yeah. Oh, I redlined the heck out of it so many times.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think it went back and forth 4 or 5 times until they finally said Clayton, you can sign it or you're not coming. But there's so many things in there where it's like they can portray you however, the channel so chooses to do so, and you're a business owner and, you're worried about maintaining reputation and, the community component and all the things. But at the end of it, I will say that I was really nervous about how they were going to portray me because I think they thought I was like a total prima donna or something because I had redlined it so many times. But they were really kind. So,
Yeah.
I don't think that answered your question, but
It did answer my question. Well, what was it like to go back and watch your episode? You guys have all said, I'm sure it's very nerve-wracking because you have a general idea of what happened, but you don't remember everything you said or did, or
And you don't know what
did
the other
they
people
catch that
said.
angle? Exactly, yeah.
true.
You have no idea what other people are saying about you. And sometimes I feel like they kind of bait contestants into saying.
Absolutely.
So there was another gal that was on my episode who was very upset about how she was portrayed. And she had a really hard time with, because they I think they pulled some tricks on her. Her mixer wouldn't properly, it wasn't working right, and she got really upset. And so there were just a couple things where I feel like she maybe had, again, the elves came and messed with her stuff purposely, and she was really upset about it. And so some of the things that she had said in her interviews kind of put her in a position, and I feel like they try to capitalize on that a little bit, and that was kind of sad because she had a hard time with that. But watching it back, you just don't know what to expect.
Who knew that
It's weird watching yourself on TV.
Christmas cookie challenge would be so traumatizing for people?
I know. And I would absolutely do it again. It was a very wonderful experience, but it's different than what you think.
Clayton, I got a question for you, specific to Beat Bobby Flay.
Okay.
Because a part of this show, it's a bombastic show. There's spotlights going around, and there's like a cage door that opens when the contestants come in and everything.
Yeah.
And they'll say, we've got a 5-time James Beard Award winner or James Beard nominee from Omaha, Nebraska, Chef Clayton Chapman. And the chef comes in, and normally they've got
Fog machine.
Yeah, there's a
whole
fog
deal.
machine. They've got, and
tunnel watch.
everybody comes in and they do something they'll have a balloon with Bobby Flay's face on it, and they'll poke the balloon, or they'll point at Bobby and be like, "You're going down." and as I'm thinking about this, going into rewatching this episode, I know you a little bit, and I'm like, Clayton is a very reserved, thoughtful personality.
Thank you.
What is he going to do running out of the tunnel to challenge Bobby Flay? Do you remember your thought process coming out of that tunnel or what you were going to do?
So right before you come through this big archway with the fog machine, you're sitting in this back little hallway on a set of stairs, and it's the back hallway of a high school, for example. And I turn the corner to come in, and one of the gals hands me this giant spanking paddle. It looks like a charcuterie board with a handle. And she's like, "Here, you need to say something to Bobby." So she's like, I just walked in and I just started smacking it.
Oh my gosh.
So wasn't planned, prepped. I probably had about 3 seconds to think about it.
You just throw it at him when you want.
Yeah, I don't know how that would have went over.
Gonna get you.
Right.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
That would make me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the most uncomfortable parts
Yeah.
because, well, obvious
I don't want to
reasons.
talk smack to Bobby Flay,
Exactly.
first of all. And second,
A paddle.
I'm authentically, naturally awkward enough. I feel like them putting you in that position to do that, I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I think that was...
I think that is kind of like the premise of the show, though, in a lot of ways, right? Is they're trying to get that, the interaction between the chefs amongst, each other and also against Bobby. Because there's, when we did our 20-minute round, they kind of expected us to, talk trash to each other across the room, too. And that's just part of the deal.
It's always funny watching that show specifically because they do a good job of getting the people to talk a little trash against each other.
Yeah.
But then every once in a while there'll be an episode where like there's two people who have a personality similar to yours, where it's just kind of like, oh, I know Clayton's food is really good, so I'm just gonna have to cook better. Like, it's gonna be really hard to beat him. And I feel like that was kind of like your episode. You and the other guy were both pretty complimentary of the competition, and they're trying to egg you on, and you guys are just like, oh, I'm just gonna cook my food and hope for the best. Just like, dang it, say something mean already. What piece of advice would you give to someone who is going to compete on the show that you competed on?
Good question.
Practice. Practice. I think setting up at least for me, setting up a stopwatch or something and doing a couple test rounds. I remember I worked at True in Chicago for a number of years before I opened the Grey Plume, and Rick Tremonto and Gail Gann competed on Iron Chef while I was there. And if you're not familiar with Iron Chef, it's like they get one secret ingredient and they have to do 5 dishes in an hour. And I think they probably practiced. They had to battle fennel, by the way. But I think they probably practiced 100 times. I don't know. We lost track. But that'd be my advice. Practice.
Yeah. Good advice.
Yeah. I think for my show would just be to trust the process. I think in Bobby Flay, Iron Chef, things like that. Did they know the secret ingredient beforehand? Is that why?
I think they were told like 1 of 3 or 1 of 5, and they didn't actually know until they got there.
Yeah.
So they had to practice a lot of different things.
A lot, yeah. So I think that makes sense. But in this, where it's so, you just know a theme. You don't know any ingredients or anything. So I felt like that could bog me down. So my advice would just be, hey, you're here for a reason. You know, they scouted me. I didn't apply for the show. Did they? I'm assuming.
Same.
Yeah,
So,
same.
you know.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah. I called the production company. I was like, is this real life? I really did. I was like, are you scamming me right now? I didn't know. But they were not. And so it was just like, I think there's a reason you're there and why they sought you out of, you know, all the amazing, talented people out there. And you'd kind of have to trust the process a little bit. So that would be my advice.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Yeah. I would say the same. I mean, trust the process, really, because you don't, sometimes things are thrown in. But also timing yourself a little bit. Being able to make sure that you can. I think I ran out of time because I had to mix my own red fondant. So
No, that would be the advice. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything about
there you
the
go.
pantry.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yes.
But they make you talk. That's the
Yeah.
thing, is that you're sitting there, and for me anyway, they're having you explain. They're like, okay, now describe what you're doing. I'm like, I just did. I just want to work because I need to concentrate. But
Yeah.
It's funny. Even Alex Gornishelli, she was a celebrity chef who judged your show, or is the host of your show. She competes on many other shows, and there are times where she gets so stressed out, and they're trying to ask her questions, and she's just like, "Not now.
She's like, go away.
I can't do this right now. You
Yeah.
need to leave me alone."
Yeah.
And you guys probably don't have quite the
We don't have that
cachet
pull.
to do
No.
that.
I was going to say, she can do that.
Yeah.
we cannot.
Give it a few years. You guys will get on that level. Last question that I have for you before we get into the live Q&A is, in addition to everything we've said tonight, what is one thing that you want us in the audience to understand leaving this room about food competition TV?
I will just
That's
say,
a tough one.
yeah, that's a tough question. But this is just kind of a general believe in yourself. And if there's something that you want to do, that you want to accomplish, do it.
I
You
love
can do
that.
anything you want to do.
I like that. I will say that those that compete fairly regularly, like a Bobby Flay, for example, you get better with time.
5 times a day.
I mean, there's a reason why he is as good as he is. And I think that there is so much like truth and realness that goes into all of it. And nerves play a factor, and travel plays a factor, and there's just, they obviously don't have that. It's not their first time anymore. So I think, have a little empathy for those that you're watching, because it definitely takes some courage to be able to go do it.
So you mean when I am watching Chopped, I'm not allowed to yell at the contestants? the famous chefs on TV, when I can barely make a box of macaroni, I'm not allowed to do that?
I mean, you can do whatever you want in your own home, but, it's like when you're under that amount of pressure,
right,
and on that short amount of time, you're not necessarily always the best version of yourself when you don't have that kind of pressure. So I think that there's a lot of realness that comes with it.
That's very wise. What do you think, Michelle?
I think for me, one of the things I always tell my family is, like, especially like with our faith and things, like when you're working for God, like, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I think that kind of translates into competition things like this too. Like, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable being there, but get comfortable in that, trust the process, and just and just keep your faith and move forward. Whatever comes out of it is all opportunity for growth, whether you win or lose or whatever the situation is. It's what you make out of it. And I think just being comfortable with where you are in your career and what you can do, and shine. Yeah.
I love that. And gosh, I have so many more questions. I have so many more things that I could ask you guys. We're up against the clock, so we're gonna have to cut it off here.
Weird.
That's how it works. This was only 20 minutes. No, this was a little bit longer than that. But I've had such a good time. My number one takeaway that I want everyone to have is that you guys got invited to do these shows because you are incredibly talented people.
Thank you.
I know I've made you guys had to relive losing and even Larissa, going through some of that feedback. But I want everyone to understand just how awesome these people are. Go visit Sauced. Michelle's food is unbelievable. Whether you get a cheesesteak, fried chicken sandwich, chicken tenders, unbelievable.
Thank
Clayton,
you.
when he puts on dinners at the Bohemian Gardens or other places, fantastic work. So follow Noble Hospitality on social media. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. I've loved the content so far. It's a lot of fun. And Larissa literally makes, not only does she make works of art, but if her cookies were just blank or just red or whatever, I would still eat them.
Red fondant, probably.
I would still eat the heck out of them, because they're like the best Christmas cookie you'll have times 8. So follow the Finicky Cookie and order from her as well. These are 3 just very talented and just very kind, awesome people. These are the type of people that you want to support. So thank you guys for coming on the show tonight. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Omaha, as always, thanks for eating with us.